Welcome to another A Day in the Life of. Today, I have finally, after a year and a half, a day in the life of a CISO. So I'm sure we will find out throughout this episode why it was so difficult for me to have three guests who are CISOs and who are experts in the topic. But with no further ado, let me introduce my guests. So Thomas, let's start with you. Tell us about your company and just a little bit of what you do, because we will go more into detail after.
Hi everybody, Mafalda, thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure to be featured on your day in life of really everything security and compliance. So the name is Tomáš Honzák. I am the Chief Information Security Officer at Vendavo. Joined the company 4 months ago. The time flies. Wow.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was head of security and compliance at Good Data for 10 years. I mean, I'm in this business for 15 years, really, shifting to this from being a software engineer and software architect and many different things. And every day I feel like, yeah, what is this about? How come I don't know this? How comes the industry has evolved? What the heck is coming down my alley? So every day of my life is different.
I don't understand anything of what you've done in the past about software engineering, but I do get the last bit of like, what the heck am I doing here? So I totally relate to that. Irena, how about you?
Hello, Mafalda. Thank you for having me today. My name is Irena Boncar, and I'm the Information Security Officer at Atacama. Atacama is a software vendor. We're specializing in data quality and data management. And my job at Atacama started about 14 years ago. But I never started as a security person. I was a back office assistant and slowly developed myself through various roles, including marketing and inside sales, and started in the security field only about 4 years ago. And I went through compliance at first. So I would say my agenda now is everything cybersecurity related and also compliance. So I'm the head of security and compliance team at Atacama.
Fantastic. I've done a lot of different jobs. I'm in sales and marketing now, but I was a pub crawl guide once and events manager. I don't think I'll end up in security though. Let's see if you guys convince me by the end of this episode.
It's a very exciting topic. You should at least consider or try,
I'll see when we finish this episode. Thank you so much for being here. Last but not least, David.
Hi Mafalda, thank you also for having me. David Oležal is my name. My title currently is Director of Security in Product Board, another startup software vendor company providing SaaS platform for product analytics and prioritization, which means dealing with customer data, customer roadmaps, suggested what should be developed for customer, stuff like that. So let's say critical data. My background is in the military because I used to be a soldier at let's say 1990 till 2005, studying special communication systems, so dealing with probability of information transportation, complexity of the systems and probability of system failure, which brings me good, let's say, foundation stones for the security I'm currently dealing with.
Fantastic. I love the mixed backgrounds everyone has here. That's great. Let's then start with a very basic question for those who are listening and have no idea what you guys do, which I assume is almost everyone. So Thomas, what does a typical day look like? And I know already there is no typical day, but let's make an effort.
Yeah, so I mean, every single day in my life is about finding the balance between achieving something tangible, getting some stuff done, and finding some time to be strategic, to be looking ahead. I mean, in the end, I am the guilty conscience of the company. Nothing more and nothing less.
What
If
do you
I
mean
don't
by
know about
guilty?
that, chances are nobody cares. It's as simple as that. The business has always better things to do than to secure its operations. It's natural.
I see.
Yeah.
And why do you think is that in your opinion? Why do you think that there are always better things to do than security, which for me it sounds pretty important?
Because it complicates the things.
Got it.
It
Got
does.
it.
I mean, not in my backyard, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't the security secure things elsewhere?
Yeah. Got it.
I mean, even people who are very security aware, and I've been lucky that essentially throughout my entire career, I've been working with people who are extremely smart, extremely capable. Was it Logica back when I started? Was it Good Data, or is it now Vendavo? I see people who care, who are genuinely interested in doing a great job in building and operating secure products. But that doesn't mean that the security does not sometimes throw a log under their feet as they are trying to finish their sprint.
Yeah.
Literally like that. I mean, it's like with bugs, it's like with performance issues. Security is just another thing which makes the development more complicated.
Yeah. Irena, what's your take here? How does your day look like? Is it very different?
I would say the main goal is the same, to kind of secure everything. And I would say know about everything. We're so deeply in all the processes that any company has that we should be aware of every little detail, basically. So my day mostly consists of meeting, calling with people, because I manage a team. So I give tasks and I observe that if they're doing it or doing them, and also cooperating on things with other teams, so everything pretty much needs a consulting from the security team, from legal department. So I also read contracts, making sure that everything is correct and we can commit to customer requests, and ending with, for example, ESG strategy. So even those like soft compliance things fall under my agenda. So it's very varied, and oftentimes it's juggling the priorities and talking here, talking there. Now someone escalates, we found some issue. I'm not saying incident, because sometimes those things are like misconfiguration, or I noticed something is not quite right. What do you think about it? Yeah, so it's giving out opinions and asking for opinions and kind of balancing, as Tomáš said, everything together.
Yeah. David, I saw you nodding at the beginning, so I see you agree. But what's your day usually look like?
Definitely have to agree with Irena and Tomáš. My motto is try not to be surprised each and every day, because as a security responsible person, if all the company is in panic mode, you must be the one which is, let's say, leading all the rest of the people through the incident. So being a security guy means you need to know, as Irena mentioned, everything what is happening in the company. Doesn't matter if it's new release or installation of the new tool, new process, new regulation coming. So you have to be aware of almost everything which is security related, and you have to evaluate all the risks which it can bring to the company. If you are lucky, you can even in advance create some alerts if somebody will be using such kind of a new attack vector you are opening, or others are opening towards your company. So you can just state it if the rest of the company is in panic mode. I exactly expect that, so we can do this and this because I played all the scenarios in advance. So that's, let's say, the security guy approach each and every day. Definitely have to agree with both of my peers. You will be surprised each and every day. Even if you have company where are just 20, 50 people, you are dealing with them each and every day, you will be surprised. Definitely.
Yeah. Human beings, they never
Yep.
cease to surprise us, right? They have a lot of
So
creativity, and usually not in a bad, sometimes not in the best ways, right? And what, moving a bit to more specific question, Tomasz, what does success mean in your role? When you say I'm a successful CISO, what does it mean? Besides not being surprised.
I still have my job.
That's
look,
one, yeah.
the mission of a CISO is to make himself redundant. The organization needs to be able to operate on a day-to-day basis without a security leader. That's the only way how it can keep any decent security. So working towards that aim and still feeling like the company recognizes the value, understands what I am doing, and how comes that everything just works, and I seem not to be fighting dozens of different fires I should have put away ages ago. And also, I mean, if we have an incident, the CISO is the one who says, yeah, okay, guys, I've just navigated you through everything. It's been remediated. Now please accept my resignation because it's my fault. Yeah. So, I mean, having a job means that we had no incident we would be aware of, and the company feels that what I'm doing makes sense, even though I am doing everything so that I don't have to work anymore. I do. I mean, I do need, as David put it, you know, I need to panic every day about new things I'm learning, so the company doesn't have to panic later on.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of responsibility to me. Irena, what does success mean to you? It's the same, it's different. Do you have anything else to add?
I think my version of success is to kind of promote the existence of security and having the people proactively think about it. So if someone comes to me and says, hey, we would like to buy this new tool, do you have any objections or like any comments to it? Or like, do we have a process for even purchasing this tool? Or what should I do prior to if it's happening, you know, not afterwards? That's the success. If I realize or if I learn that, oh, we bought this tool, now we need to implement it, that's too late. That's like, I failed, basically. I need to let the people know to think first about security, and it doesn't have to be security only, it can be compliance, you know, so we need to do the review of the vendor, due diligence, and check all the documents, for example. It's a lengthy process. So, and that's just one example. Yeah, it could be anything. Like we're thinking about a new component to our product. Yeah, that's good that you're telling me now, so we can do a threat assessment, you know, threat modeling, for example. So that's what I would say is a success.
Prevention, right? The more you
basically
can do that,
in other words, what Tomasz said. Like I don't need to exist. The people should think about security by themselves, but I'm there to remind them of its existence if they don't.
Well, I think that your office manager background comes in handy to that, right?
Everything comes in handy. Even, you know, like my interest is psychology and I studied crisis intervention. I did a course, so even that comes handy, you know. So.
Perfect. David, what would you say that success looks like to you?
Definitely, I have to agree with Tomasz and Irena. Yeah, so being successful CISO means you still have a job. Company is not panicking. Company is not under successful attack and facing data leak or something like that. I also want to add another point of view. For me, being successful security guy means that not responsible people, not managers in a company, even doesn't know me because they didn't face any security related obstacles in their work. So they are not having to type passwords several times per hour. just to recognize that company is secure, because we have SSO, you just log once per day and all the other systems are just via SSO allow you to access stuff like that. So for the majority of company, I am, let's say, invisible, and vice versa for somebody who is accountable for the process, new tooling, new something in a company, new release, stuff like that. I am, let's say, peer, and as soon as possible, like Irena mentioned, because if I just spot from audit logs that something was installed, something was configured, definitely I will be screaming. So I'm usually telling all the newcomers in a company, please use me in advance, then we will be friends. If I have to come to you exposed, sorry, I will be the bad police security guy.
Yeah. The bad cop in the company. Yeah.
Definitely.
I can see that. It's funny because I've done already a podcast with RevOps managers, and they also say, I know I'm doing my job well if no one remembers that I exist. And I did another one with the head of legal who said, please, before, not after. So I can see here the similarities. Going through a bit more the dark side of the job, meaning the challenges of this role. I can already see that the challenges are people complying in general, and people remembering to take security seriously. But Tomasz, what else would you say that's the most difficult part of your job in any company in general?
I guess one of the biggest problems that a security professional who's leading security company faces is the need to really understand how the business works, what's important for them. Leaders have different perspectives, different domains. And if you look at your typical C-suite, there is someone in charge of finance, someone in charge of engineering or technology, someone in charge of product, someone in charge of customer success, someone in charge of sales. Each of them has like one vertical. And here is a CISO who needs to swim through everything and understand enough of this and enough of that. And you need to be switching your faces and switching the language. So keeping yourself up to speed with what's happening and making sure that you can communicate, you can become part of the movement. You can have your fingers on the tap on the every single part. And no one is like calling you, hey, have you heard this? Have you heard that?
Yeah.
You just need to figure out how to be omnipresent, visible enough and invisible enough, because if you are too much visible, people will stop inviting you. They will stop looping you in because you are a nuisance.
That's almost Quantix, right? Like the cat that is dead and alive at the same time. You're invisible and invisible at the same time. You are like the Schrödinger cat in a company. Yeah, I see. And
yeah, only you don't want your security to be Schrödinger. You don't want your security to become apparent, or you don't want to learn how your security is only when someone breaks through. So please, I'm happy to be a Schrödinger CISO. I don't want to have Schrödinger security.
I love that. I'm gonna use that to when I introduce the podcast. It's amazing. And when you look at those everything just you mentioned, do you look at certain KPIs? Are there certain KPIs that are important to you, Tomasz?
A lot of KPIs. I mean, every security department has KPIs on everything. I mean, vulnerabilities in your systems, security awareness training, how are people responding to simulated phishing campaigns, what do the auditors tell us, how efficient is my security testing, how much does it cost me to manage the security. So, I mean, it's not super different from any different lines. Of course, there are KPIs. The critical part about them is to be able to focus on what's really important.
Yeah.
Lots of tools you have offer you a lot of super fancy looking dashboard, KPIs, measures, benchmarks, whatever. 95% of them are interesting but useless.
Yeah. Irena, challenges and KPIs. What's your take here?
Challenges are risk calculation. Like every single day, I need to make decisions based on very limited information. Yeah. And those decisions must be quite quick. So I'm always weighing the risk of doing this versus not doing this or doing something different, variance A, B. And luckily, I can discuss this with my team or my fellow IT director is my best buddy, basically in Atacama. So we're like very closely tied together, and we can always brainstorm together. And that's best, if you can say like, do you think the same that I think? Yes. Okay, so we go for this option. But if I have to decide on my own, that's kind of difficult because then you bear the responsibility for saying no or saying yes to something. Yeah. And
It's
also
very scary.
escalating this risk to appropriate stakeholders. So if you calculate that the risk of this vulnerability being exploited is this, so then you need to escalate this to the CFO as well, because in the end, all risk can be switched or like recalculated into a financial loss.
Yeah.
So basically having these calculations, and it's very difficult. How do you calculate that? It's gonna cost exactly this. So always do the range, and then always the CFO can say, "Oh, but yeah, I don't see the cyber risk as a risk to me." So kind of winning the people over and trying to and explaining to them in their language why something is important and you need to fix it.
Yeah, and probably balancing the cost of action with the cost of inaction, right?
Yes.
Yeah. David, I saw you nodding a lot. What would you like to add here?
Definitely, again, I have to agree with both of my peers. Let's say for me, the biggest challenge is, as Irena said, risk management, because having just limited amount of information, you have to deal with chief financial officer, you have to deal with internal operation, you have to deal with developers, you have to deal with infrastructure engineers. Everybody just expect you will help them and you will cover them and ensure that what they are doing is doing they do properly and with security having in mind. So you have meeting with receptionist, another meeting with infrastructure engineer, another meeting with chief of IT implementing new stuff. You have to be prepared. You have to know what they are talking about, at least at some level, and you have to be partner with them. At the same time, you have some guy who never did a mistake, so he's afraid of why my work must be controlled. Yeah,
Yeah.
he agreed that single point of failure is the worst approach, but he is usually releasing directly to production because he never did any mistake in his code, and he's afraid just why I have to wait till another person will read my code because I never did a mistake before. So yes, so sometimes you are dealing with smart people having security somehow in mind, maybe not called security. Sometimes you are dealing with gods which never made a mistake, and they are totally surprised that you are telling them, hey, sorry, probability of human error is XYZ. So definitely there will be a case you will do a mistake, and I am here for avoiding that situation in advance.
Very interesting that there are divas in the tech part of the company too. We always assume it's only the sales. We sales, we are also always the ones that you see us as divas, but very, very glad to see that we are not the only ones. And still with you, David, you mentioned as well, like Irina, that you really like to talk with your peers because it's always, better to have confirmation. Where else do you get information to get better at your job?
Definitely for me, the main source are, let's say, my peers. Yeah, because based on my background, risk management, let's say calculation of the risk, probability of information transportation, I can bring that knowledge into other areas. So even dealing with finance, clearance, all that stuff, dealing with developers, second pair of eyes, testing, implementation, evaluation, beta features, stuff like that. For me, it's still counting of probability of failure,
Yeah.
which I learned at the communication systems, my communication information transportation background. So that's, let's say, for me, the main source of the information, dealing daily with my peers. And if I am lucky, I have enough time to at least check internet if that CVE which I already have in my alerting because it's released and it's related to my system. If somebody just stated an article or provided some attack vector, proof of concept, stuff like that, to have ability to understand if I have to panic in advance or if I have to wait till somebody just will put my data on the internet for selling.
Yeah, Tomasz, I saw you nodding. What are your sources of inspiration?
The peer discussion is obviously like an absolute must, and what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to have. I mean, with my current job, I'm extremely lucky because Vendavo is owned by two major private equity funds, and both of them take security very seriously. And with one of them, I have a group community of 50 CISOs of the companies which are owned by this fund, and it's a great source of inspiration and insights. And I mean, hey, you get a lot of ideas. Most of them are crazy, some of them are reasonable. It's hard to gauge what will work where. So the best thing to do, best thing to have is to have a group of colleagues who are facing similar problems as you, and being able to ask them, hey guys, how do you feel about that? Am I getting even more crazy than usual, or is the reality being somehow wrong?
Yeah. Totally get you. Totally get you. Irena, how is it for you?
My biggest source of information is actually our customers. I'm
Interesting.
also involved in customer questionnaires. That's always the due diligence that we are doing with our vendors, customers are doing with us. So they're sending our way hundreds of questions, both for the product, like, yeah, does it have this feature and can you do this integration? And also security. Those are called non-functional, but they're asking about everything, like you name it, both in application and our company, like processes and even policies and some compliance stuff, data privacy, etc. But also security, like how do we authenticate, how do we do access management, asset management, physical security, everything. So they are very thorough and proper. And most of the time, the regulations themselves are not very explicit or very well defined. So they just say you have a proper level of security, period. How you translate this into like real like, roadmap, for example, for your security enhancements or improvements, that's up to you. And also the customers, they have expectations that you do this and you do this on a certain level and not less. So they will actually give you some hints like, hey, you should be doing this. And that's how we actually adjust, how we do things, both in processes and also in the product.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting because, like, also in my area, which is sales and marketing, I would say that my customers are one of my main sources of information and inspiration, and it's insane that in my area, like, people forget about that all the time. And I think I'm only saying that we should be talking to our customers way more often, and I think it's very interesting that it's the same for you, which is a completely different department. So last question, that's a very interesting question from my point of view. So in the end of each episode, every time I ask challenges and successes, and I already get the gist of your work, I show my guests a prospecting email written by a person like me, a salesperson trying to communicate to a person like you. And I want your blunt feedback to see if the person nailed it or completely on the side. It's anonymous. Feel free to be as direct as you can. No one can be worse than the marketing people I had. They were brutal. So I will just show the email, read it, and then we can discuss by the last bit. So, hi, David or Irina or Tomasz. Some cybersecurity leaders say that keeping up with new tech like ChatGPT means continuous learning and being ready for new threats. They suggest seeing security as a way to help business, not as a roadblock. In order to create such awareness, CISOs have invested in cybersecurity awareness training across departments. Are you one of them? If yes, let's chat. Our company creates automated and engaging cybersecurity awareness training programs at scale. Let me know if this is of interest to you, John. Irina, I'll start with you because you come from a marketing background. What's your take here?
Well, I would like to just point out that every security leader is different. Some is focused on, how the technical aspects of the tool. Some are like, what is the budget, kind of. So it's really difficult to say they nailed it or John nailed it or he did a bad job, because what I'm looking for in such emails is more like a personalized approach. Like, hey, Irina, I noticed you're the information security officer at Atacama. Those emails do come my way. Sometimes
I can imagine.
more informal, like you might have this and that problem and I might have a solution. How about if we talk? But these, like, if it's 3 paragraphs, I lose attention. I don't, honestly, I skip these emails. I ignore them. I never read them. I don't reply. It's just so annoying to be like every single week, I would say, there is someone in my mailbox who needs attention. So it's very difficult to actually catch my attention by an email like this.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, it's funny that you say every single week, because most people say like 50 emails a day that look like this. So I think once a week, it's not too horrible. Tomasz, what's your take here?
Where is the unsubscribe button?
Why?
Well, I mean, I'm an EU citizen, so someone decided they have a legitimate interest under GDPR to send me a marketing communication. It's not even targeted, as Irena said.
Yeah.
But as an European Union citizen, I also have the rights to object, and it should be super easy. So there should be a subscribe link down there.
Yeah, I gave
that's
up.
my point number one. So
this is pointless. This will just take time, to search for a subscribe button. You just go report a spam in your, email.
I know. I'm just saying, if someone tells me about awareness, I do expect them to have at least the basic cyber hygiene, and giving me an unsubscribe link is where it starts. Second, security awareness is something all tech companies do. It's a requirement of ISO, it's a requirement of SOC. So are you one of them? Yes, obviously. This is blah, blah, blah. Not interesting. Third, security awareness is super complicated. There is not one size fit all solution. Most of the automated security awareness trainings are useless.
Okay, interesting.
They might have 80% of interesting and helpful contents, but they would have 1 or 2 points which are not applicable for my company, or not relevant, or not the truth anymore. How should my learners know what's in it and what isn't?
Yeah, makes sense.
So I mean, I think yes, it's a compelling business lines, and there will be many stupid companies that will be paying lots of thousands for security awareness programs and run all kind of campaigns. and they will be checking all the compliance boxes, but will it really help? No, it won't. Yes, you need to have something. Yes, you need to have some automation, but you want to deliver security awareness which is super targeted to your company. And if you are in a tech sector like all the three of us on this one, we simply read this email by delete. As Irena put it, where is just clicking spam. I wouldn't even bother with the unsubscribe. I do bother because it's a privacy violation, and you wanted me to rant. So here's my rant.
David, would you also go down the deleting road?
Yep. So for me, definitely the first paragraph is, let's say, something which bring my interest in. Because dealing with the new stuff, it's because we are doing SaaS platform on public hosting. Definitely, it's something I am facing because we are selling it also to fintech, to banks, other stuff. So bringing something new into security is something which is, let's say, on my radar daily. I have to agree with Tomáš because managing new attacks or new threats via awareness training, it's almost nonsense. I would bring another point of view. Definitely awareness and training of the people, definitely you have to deal with. It's good to have it, but technical obstacles in processes, measurement in processes, control in automated processes helps much, much more than having spent a lot of time dealing with awareness training, sitting on a meeting when somebody will tell you, hey, you have to do backups, stuff like that. So if it's automated, if it's enforced by the process, by the automated process, is definitely better. So if they offer me help with some automation in the process, maybe they will have my focus. If they offer me just soft skill, not tailored awareness training for all my employees, sorry, no, I don't want to bother my peers in company with security more than is strictly necessary, which is 1 hour per week for, let's say, receptionist and other roles.
Yeah, makes total sense. Makes total sense. We are up with our time. As usual, I never managed to ask all the 15 questions or whatever I have on the things I send you. So thank you so much, David, Irena, Tomáš, for such an insightful conversation. I learned a lot. I have a lot of fun, and I hope you also had a good time chatting about your roles here with me. Then I ask you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. I wish you the rest of a great year, and we will be in touch. I wish you all the best, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.